We are, I don't know if you guys can see us or not. We're just trying to reconnect right now. Okay, are we back?
I think we're back.
Are we back? Wow, we're like 30 seconds into the video and we had a failure to launch just there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you guys see us all right? For those of you that are watching live right now, just give us a thumbs up or something and see if you can see us okay.
I can see us all right.
Okay, I guess we're back now. Sorry about that. I guess that's a glitch. You know, sometimes when there's these glitches and you do a live feed, it shows up when you watch it after the fact. They just put a commercial in there. So
Yeah.
people are going to be like, oh, great, show started. And then it's like 30 seconds in, a commercial already.
Or it just cuts to the point where we start. Like it'll be in the middle of us talking. Like.
Oh, okay, I'll just cut right back
Yeah.
in. Okay, well, let's hope that YouTube figures that out. Either way,
I guess
welcome.
We're gonna find out.
It's been another busy week. I've been taking stuff over nonstop. You know, we finished the series, the Musician's House, the filming of the Musician's House several weeks ago. However, every single day since, I've been getting stuff ready to get this other auction happening. And we have it, and it's finally live. In the description below, you can see the link. It's just Kauctions.ca. Actually, we're gonna go on a virtual field trip here.
Okay, and I'll get this ready too.
Field trip. That's right, kids. We're visiting the moose factory. What do they do there? They dissect moose.
Wow.
Is it
right.
mooses? I don't know.
Right.
I think about all the.
Them.
I remember going to. Let's see. We went to. We didn't go to the sulfur factory. That would have stunk.
Wow. Which one is ours?
There was always some school trip where you're like, we're going to the processing plant. Let's go visit an abattoir today. Okay, let's flip this around. All right, here we go. Well, I went to Kauctions.ca. And
then log in, right?
Yeah. So once you're on the Kauctions.ca website, don't worry, it says not secure, but that's because it's a www. Don't ask why. I've never had a problem with this website. Anyway, you go log in. Boop. Boop. Sound effects are not included with their website. They'll have to have the official Alex boop when they do it here. So then you see some other auctions that are going on in ours. This is the sale of the final stuff out of Madame Rack's house right there. And you can see there's 20 pages, so that's 50 lots per page. That's almost 1,000 lots of items. So you can tell I've been really busy. And first item up, so there's some Murano art glass necklace, silver ring, which nobody's bid on yet, with red gems. We didn't know what they were.
That's actually a really cool ring.
Yeah, it is a neat ring.
It kind of has a... I'm not sure what it is.
There's a few things that Melissa was like really looking at, but she did keep some things aside.
Yeah.
Oh, this ring here, this Arica Finland, that's like a $600 ring. For those of you that don't know her design, I didn't polish it, it's silver. But that's like a mid-century modern designer ring. And it's signed Erica on the inside. Anyway, if it's blurry on your image, just try changing your resolution. Sometimes that helps.
Blurry on mine too.
Is it blurry on yours too? Okay. It's clear on mine, but you know. So anyway, we've got all these listings up right now. So there's silver rings. And they're going to be retaking a lot of these pictures. They're actually busy doing that right now. So this was kind of cool. I'm going to bid on, not bid, I'm going to show you. It's 14 karat gold with a little pearl and roses. I don't know if they're coral or what they are, but they're really cool. They're little carved roses. That's a ring. And little tiny gold leaves. So it's 14 karat ring. Nobody's bid on it yet. $15. It kind of goes from there. So many things are not bid on quite yet. So 10 karat gold necklace. There's a lot of really rings and bits of jewelry.
It's an iPad screen that he's filming.
Oh yeah, it's an iPad. That's what I'm not like screen sharing or anything. I'm not being like a professional person. But look at that, isn't that cool? That's all sterling silver with little, stones. I don't know what type of stones those are. We didn't check that to see if it was diamond, did we?
That's marcasite.
Oh, is it marcasite? Okay. Melissa says marcasite. It looks almost Egyptian or something, doesn't it?
It's not, those are, oh, you mean the clear stones?
Yeah, the clear stones.
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, we never checked that. Hopefully it's not diamond when we put it up without it. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Jane says, is it a bad thing I have 112 things bookmarked? No, if you're finding things you like, heck. Oh, this was really big. This is I called it like a sun brooch. I didn't know how else to explain it. It's an artsy sterling silver, like an artist-made brooch, and it reminded me of sort of like a sun or a flower maybe. Maybe it's meant to be a flower. Probably a flower. But there's a little gold ring with leaves. anyway, so a lot of this stuff is up right now, and it's we're just starting to see a few little bids come in here and there. So as of today, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't have bids. There's also lots of rings, so 7 assorted rings, no bids, $15. That would be like costume jewelry, sterling silver and turquoise. And there are some other diamonds and things like that in here too. I guess we just have to sort through, but you're gonna have it would take a long time to kind of go through. That's how many carat was that? I can't remember. Oh, gold tone ring. Yeah, well, that one's gold tone. You'll have to see if it's actual gear. Okay, this one's 18 karat. Kind of neat. Best sales pitch ever. Kind of neat. Anyway, there's a lot of really nice pieces. I'm gonna flip it back around. So if you are, a lot of people were saying, well, we missed the last auction. We didn't have a chance to bid on something last go around. And there's a lot of, those are matching earrings to the sun brooch that are separate there. So yeah, those are, if you're interested in the set, I guess you have to bid on both. But there's a lot of people who just found out about this series. Many of you have been with us for a really long time, have been with the channel for a long time. There's a lot of new folks finding out about us. This, very much like when we did the Potter's House series, kind of went all around the world in the last couple of days. The story went all over, and they did a wonderful story on Madame Rack herself and her music and the awards she did. Then some insight was given, and if you look at the my Facebook page, you'll see we posted a link to that news article that talks about Madame Rack in more depth and detail. Mm-hmm. So please feel free to check that out, because it's an interesting story, and she was a very interesting lady, teaching hundreds of students and having quite a legacy, including professional artists that came from her lineage of teaching. So it's really, really cool. So
hello to everybody coming on.
This is okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a story time.
Story time.
Story time. Every time, woo. Somebody said, "Oh, you had me at kind of neat." There you go, kind of neat. There's a sales pitch. That ring's kind of neat. Oh, our friend Bill is on. German Bill. Hello, Bill. Okay.
Once upon a time.
We were playing with the idea of maybe not getting a brand new vehicle, but maybe trading Melissa's vehicle in for a slightly newer one. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a long time since I've had to go, and very long time since we've actually had to go to car lots to look at vehicles. I forgot what a process that was. And I'm sorry in advance if any of you are used car salespeople.
But if you are, you know exactly what we're talking about, because then you've had to deal with these people firsthand.
Maybe they work at a nice car lot. But I went to several used car lots, and I like to think that, when you see those stereotypes on TV, that they're not real. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. Okay. First off, I go to a car dealership, and I'm looking at a slightly newer version of Melissa's car. She drives a Volvo XC90, so we thought, well, maybe we get one that's a couple years newer. So there's a couple dealerships around that have those things, and I went and looked at one. And this was kind of behind Melissa's back, because I was trying to maybe line one up for us to go look at that I could already have figured out a deal on. Anyway, so the first place I go to, they have one there, and it has like crazy rims on it, like with summer tires. And he's like, "You'd be fine driving on those." And they're like bald summer tires. And I'm like, I don't think those are the factory rims, because they're like 22-inch rims, like they would have put on back in the 90s or 2000s. Like all it was missing was spinners.
I think the second somebody lies to you, you need to turn around and be like, nah.
Oh, he's like, you could drive on those if you wanted. He wasn't wrong. You could drive on them if you wanted. He forgot the ... to die.
This will be your last trip.
I said, my wife is really concerned with safety, and then he shows me a car that has bald tires on it. Anyway, that's a fixable thing, but anyway, it wasn't great. So then I guess he sized me up. He looked me up and down and thought that maybe I wasn't a serious buyer at that point. And I said, well, you guys have maybe another one on the lot, right? And he's like, yeah, but it's kind of cold out. It's around back somewhere. And that's what he did. He's like, it's around back somewhere. And then he saunters off into this warm little office and goes back on his phone or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to go look at this other car by myself. So I go back wandering the lot and find it. It's buried in snow, and it's actually looks pretty good. It's the same color that she kind of has, and looks to be in good condition. So I saunter back in. At this point, I'm already feeling like I've walked into, when you watch like a CSI show and they go, not the crime scene, but they go to the warehouse to like interrogate some guy, and he's like, won't stop stacking boxes. He's like, yeah, I know Johnny McGee. He's always been good. I don't think he killed Tony. Anyway, it was like that. Those are the guys that were working there. We're like, maybe they look suspicious, but they probably, I don't know. There was something going on there. I'm like, what is this place? So I go in, and they're all like these guys that look like they're in the factory box loading scene of CSI. Anyway, you'd have to be there to know that I'm not exaggerating. Anyway, so I find the guy that was helping me out, and he is over at his desk on the phone. And I said, okay, well, what can you tell me about the one at the back? He's like, yeah, okay, well, it's like, decent, low miles and all this stuff. And I said, well, what's the best you could do on it? So he gives me a price, which is, not a huge amount less, but it's less than what they wanted for it. And so I'm like, okay, let me go home and sleep on it, and I'll call back. And so then he texts me back like 30 minutes later. He's like, forget it. We'll come down $100. And I'm like, what? That's not a great deal at all. And so I was like so put off by it. I'm like, that's it. I don't care how nice the car is. I'm not going to go back to that place, because who gives you a price and then goes back on it and then gives you like a nothing discount on a vehicle? When you're like making a big purchase, $100 is not a big deal.
But that wasn't just it. He said, listen, that's all we make on
No,
these
that
cars.
wasn't that. I'm going to get to that.
Oh,
that wasn't
I've
this
spoiled
guy.
it.
Yeah, no. So anyway, so today I had a pick to go on. So I'm on my way to this guy's place to go buy some collectibles and things. And I had an hour to kill. So I stopped at another car dealership, which was owned by the same company. I'm not going to name names, but so far I'm not impressed with that company. This time I go to a Hyundai dealership. I did not tell you which company it is that owns the Hyundai dealership. Anyway, somebody's traded in, or they've got another Volvo like that sitting there. And so I go, and the guy, before he'll even show me the car, he says, I need to see your license. So I'm like, what do you need to see my license for?
You look so sketchy.
Yeah, I'm like, in case you decide to steal the car. I'm like, well, I'm not going to steal your car. I'm like, I just drove here in my own car. I'm not going to steal it. He's like, I need your ID. He's like, we don't want to have any problems. I'm like, okay. So anyway, so we're talking about it, and then he's like, before he even shows me the vehicle, before I'm honored with looking at the vehicle, he gives me like a 30-minute rundown on like, just so you know what the price of the car is, we're not going to come off of that more than like $100. And I'll tell you what, when we deal in used cars around here, we only leave $100 profit margin. I said, what a terrible business practice you guys have to only leave $100 profit margin on an entire vehicle.
For a car.
I said, if I ran my business like that, I'd be out of business. Well, we deal more in bulk and volume than we do in making money off the cars.
Because they sell cars in bulk.
Because we more deal in bulk. And then we get a bonus back from the dealer. I'm like, okay, so you're selling cars for what you paid for them? Is that what you're saying? So anyway, we're chatting and stuff, and I decide I'm there anyway, so I'm gonna look at the car, and the lot's, the car's okay and whatever. So I'm like, yeah, it's $100. So then he says, this is the Volvo Inception. It's pretty classy. I'm like, Inception is a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. This isn't the Inception. And he's like, oh yeah, that's not the name. It's the Inscription. I'm like, okay, yeah. So no, it's not the Inception. I said, unless the road flips upside down when you're driving this car, it's not the Inception. And so anyway, so we get back, and he sees I'm driving an FJ Cruiser. He's like, oh, we always got guys looking for those. He said, you could get like 15 grand for that car, no problem. He said, but we got to make some money, so we give you 8 for it. I'm like, what happened to that $100 profit you make off of your cars? He just told me 5 minutes ago that they only make $100 off their cars, and now he wants to double his money, or roughly double his money off of mine. So I guess my car is the only car that they want to make money off of. Boy.
Not the newer ones.
And I'm like, they think people were born yesterday. Like, anyway, I don't know what is going on with the car dealers in this town. So I said, the last dealership was owned by the same company as yours. And that was a bad experience. And I can tell you right now, this is not a great experience either. So it's not boding well for your company that 5 minutes ago you tell me you don't make profit on your used cars, and now you want to double your money off of mine. So I said, no, I'm good. And so off I went and on my merry way. And then he wrote back with the incorrect name. Oh, this is the other thing this dealership did. The first dealership called me Nicholas, and I said, my name is Alex. And he said, oh, sorry, Nick. I'm like, my name isn't Nick. My name is Alex. And so anyway, he called me Nicholas like 3 times. Bad omen right off the bat. Second dealership, I don't know why they're doing this. He misspelled my last name and kept calling me by the wrong name. And then I told him the right spelling. And he's like, it's close enough. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's
Crazy land.
so bad.
MP says, Melissa, thanks for your heart on my comment yesterday.
Thank you for commenting.
So far, 2 for 2 strikes right now. I am not loving the car lot experience around here. And I went into the car lot, and the other thing is, and I shouldn't be complaining so much about this, but guys, it was a weird experience. I'm the only customer. It's not like they had a whole dealership full of people. It was a bunch of guys just sitting around at their desks on their phones.
Sale and they chose to.
I was ready to get something.
You never know who's walking into your store if they're going to be. You very well could have bought something that second, but they weren't interested in that.
I was trying to surprise my lady. Instead, I was like, these places suck. I don't want to go there. And I was all pouty about it. Yeah. And then, this is a story I shared. I don't know if it's true, but I heard it once before. My parting words were, because I don't know, I was on my way to a pick, so I had like my winter jacket and my work boots and stuff. So I don't know, maybe they were like, this guy's a nothing, which it's fine if they think that. I mean, who knows who people are? What I don't know. They're allowed to judge based on whatever.
Well, I learned a long time ago, the people that generally are going to buy something on the spot will be wearing sweatpants and a ripped shirt.
You know, any friends that I have that have done well for themselves, it's the people that walk in wearing a monocle and a 3-piece suit. You're like, that's pretty showy. Those are never the people who have a ton of money generally.
Well, sometimes, but
I guess some Monopoly guy, he's probably made a bunch of money off of royalties from that game. If I see Monopoly guy walk in, I'll be like, oh yeah, you're getting paid for that board game. But generally, if somebody overdresses in like a normal situation, they're probably just putting on a show. Maybe that's just my own instinct kicking in. Maybe it's not correct. Maybe you guys have different things. In fact, I heard a story that Willie Nelson went in once with a bag of cash, like a brown paper bag, and he went to go, I think it was like a Rolls Royce he was going to look at. And the people at the Rolls Royce dealer were like, country bumpkin, and they didn't pay any attention to him. And so finally, I guess this one guy came up and talked to him, and sure enough, he bought the car cash. But he said he was treated really poorly. Mind you, paying for cars with bags of cash is probably what got Willie into trouble with the IRS a number of years ago. So maybe that's not a great example. You know,
when you start a story by saying, I'm not sure if this is true, it's probably a story that you shouldn't share right off the bat.
Maybe those urban legend stories. One time I heard Willie was paid with a bag of cash, and then the IRS is like, wait a minute, is he?
One of the biggest sales that I ever made in jewelry at the time was to somebody that literally walked in. They were kind of rude, and they were kind of mumbling. It wasn't who I would expect to, in my brain, to have been buying the biggest ring that we had. But they did, and it changed forever my perception of people, period. And I'm glad that I had that experience because it was a nice slap.
Yeah, anyway.
I can't believe they did that to you, though. That I was so upset about it. I wanted to call, but apparently he talked to the manager, and
apparently I look shifty. They actually thought I might take the car and steal it. Never in my life have I been treated like that.
And they were only interested if we would finance it.
Yeah, they said, if you're not going to lease, we're not interested in selling you a car. Which I never heard of that before, too, that they would only...
Because they obviously want to.
Yeah.
I've never in a million years would I have thought that they would only do the deal if you would lease.
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter.
So crazy.
Next time I'm going to go in wearing like a neon hat, like a big cowboy hat with neon around it and the flapper hands maybe.
Chewy.
I don't know what our dog is all into.
If anybody made my live yesterday, was that yesterday? The dog barked almost for the whole time.
Chewy, come. He wants something from up on the ledge and he's staring like he's going to bark again.
So for those of you mentioning the earrings, these ones are from the musician's house and they sound like, I mentioned them yesterday.
Jingly.
They sound like a little wind chimes.
Is there a child upstairs that can come retrieve the dog before he barks his little head off? Okay.
Jason's saving us from the barky dog.
Yeah. Chewy's going to regret that. Yep. Jenna, the singing Dragadiva, says, I simply adore you guys. Love your content. You're both your beautiful couple talking about good jeans. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We shop at similar stores. That's what that is. Good jeans. Anyway, so that was my experience with the car lot. I never had I hate that feeling of, you get ignored. If you ever want to feel humbled, like you're a piece of something on the bottom of somebody's shoe, go into a used car dealership and and
At least
asked
the
to buy
two
a
that
car.
you went to, or
Which
the
owned
few
by the
that you
same
did.
company. It was the worst. If somebody watching this owns a used car dealership in Edmonton, you have some market share you can pick up by improving customer service. Anyway, I should leave a review for that place.
Yes, you should.
I should leave I
For
hate
both
leaving
places.
bad reviews for other businesses, but
You know what? But the thing is that sometimes they don't know. And then, I mean, what if that manager or owner ends up not knowing and their company is suffering because that person could get the proper training?
this is the thing that they said the manager had a policy at the second dealership that if somebody wanted to buy a car, that he had to come out and size you up to make sure that you were able to pay for the vehicle.
I've never heard of
Like
anything like
he would
that.
come out and look at you, and he said the manager wants to come out and meet you in person and see if you're of the quality to buy a car cash. I'm like, what? And this is like an actual Hyundai dealership. Like it's not like some backwoods Uncle Joe's car lot and out in the field. It was an actual Hyundai authorized dealership. It was ridiculous. Now, anyway, no wonder I was the only customer in that place.
Maximilian said, thanks for the positive content in these dark times with regards from Stockholm, Sweden.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now that we were complaining about a car lot.
I say that, and my grandpa, my mom's dad, was a car salesman. But
Jenna said, you have to love a good dad joke.
Yep. Anyway, that's I am Nicholas of Curiosity Inc. Yeah, that's right.
Sergeant Red said they must not.
Yeah, I saw. That's what I
have
just
to know.
read.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Anyway, it was.
I forgot you had it first.
It was a silly situation. I hope that people out there, it's your pretty woman, Julia Roberts moment. That's right, Cindy of Red Deer. I'm going to show up there. Oh, I was saying I'm going to get my cowboy hat with the hand flaps, and I'm going to drive up in the ambulance with the lights flashing and be like, car! I want to buy a car! And I'll leave the lights and sirens going until someone comes out and gives me attention. Car, 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 car! Car, car, car! And they'll be like, what? Or I'll just go on the megaphone. Okay, everybody inside, get off of your cell phones. There's a customer here.
Sharon said she went to a Toyota dealer prepared to pay cash and they were refused.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
People apparently they don't like you to buy a car unless you finance, because that's where they make all their money is off the interest.
I mean, that's one thing that we don't really have other than the, bills, the regular bills, is payments on credit cards and stuff. So I don't want to start with that.
Anyway, boy, it was a weird day today, though. But on the plus side, okay, let me tell you something good, though. I go to these other people's place, and it's sort of like a 55-plus seniors apartment block, and they're moving out because someone has passed, which sometimes happens. Well, actually, it always happens. You find me a person who doesn't pass away, and it's a vampire. That doesn't happen. Maybe Jason Bateman. He hasn't aged in like 20 years, so maybe he's a vampire.
Jerry said, "Please tape."
Please tape. You want me to tape going to the car lot? Thank you, Dorothy. You want me to tape going to the car lot with the ambulance and and the sirens flashing and car.
Can you imagine the people that had never seen your videos before, though, and that was their very first video?
All of my sirens work on that thing too. Oh, I would do it if I wasn't worried. I guess if I'm on their lot, I'm not setting off sirens like on a public street, so maybe I wouldn't get in too much trouble. That's what I should do. I'll be like, I'm going to go back.
If you guys see Alexander on the news for something other than this house, you'll know he did it.
Insane man arrested at car dealership. And watch them try and tow my ambulance away. I had left my ambulance parked overnight on my front street in front of my store, and I guess they put signs up saying no parking overnight because they were going to come and sweep it. This is in spring. And I got there right before the car was about to get towed. And the guy's like, I'm really glad you showed up because none of us wanted to try towing this thing. Because it's like a mile long. It's like the Uncle Tex from, was it the Flintstones? And they had Uncle Tex show up and he'd be like, with this big, it would be like,
limo.
It's like 5 miles of hood that keeps going by with horns on the front, and then eventually the car shows up. That's what most of my cars are. It's all hood with a tiny little cabin. That thing is just a big boat. It's just a big old boat. Anyway,
Never tell them that you want to pay cash until the deal is done.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
So I think maybe I'm going to, and they had some kind of like weird, they always have weird dealership fees, but they had something called like an etch fee that he tried explaining that made absolutely no sense to me. He's like, well, we'll etch a little mark on the car. It costs $500, and that way if it gets stolen, it's registered. I'm like, isn't that what a serial number is? It's already on the car. Why would I need your etching? Like, it already has serial numbers all over the whole car. A $500 fee to etch a number on your car that,
anything over 10,000 has to be tracked by FinTrack.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
That's what it is. It's some kind of
I don't get it. Etching, it just seems like it seems super scammy. Anyway, boy, we talked a lot about cars, and anyway, I ended up not getting anything. I'm glad Melissa didn't have to sit through that experience. She wouldn't have been, I don't think, as patient as I would have been with
I
them.
can't handle rude people. You know what it is? It's that I teach children for a living. So for me, a lot of rude people are just people's children that are behaving badly. I instantly mum them. I don't put up with anybody being rude. And I walk out. And then I make sure that they're going to be trained properly. I will call and make sure they get trained properly. It's bad.
Yeah. So that was a thing that happened. But I didn't tell you about I was going to tell you about the pic that I went on. I didn't film it because I don't film everything. I'm going to tell you about it. Went to the house, and they had a few little retro things. So I got like a telephone that looks like Marilyn Monroe. And I think it says something when the phone rings, like maybe it sings happy birthday for like half an hour, awkwardly. Just pick up the phone. Happy birthday, Mr. President, for like 30 minutes. I don't know what it does. It says something when it rings.
Somebody's not going to let it ring for that long.
Yeah. So it does something. And then they had a little radio that looked like a tiny Wurlitzer jukebox and some kitschy sort of stuff that was cool. A barber set and an old 50s chair that it was a telephone table, so it's like a 50s looking chair with kind of this little 50s looking table attached to it that you'd put your telephone and phone book on. So I got a few things, but the best stuff is they have a whole car collection as well as old gas signs and collectibles and stuff that's sitting out of town. So we're gonna hopefully go and check that out in the next week or two. That was I was hoping to go do that this week, but we got hit by something called a polar vortex. For those of you watching in warmer climates,
we were bragging about our warm weather before this, so.
You know when you get a day that's really hot and you're like, it's hot out. And then you go inside and you have air conditioning or something. It's the opposite, where you're in the warmth here in your house and you're like, it's cold out. And then you go outside and your nose freezes shut and your eyes get all frosty.
My hands were a little bit wet and I had to lock my school today. And I got stuck to the lock. My fingers got stuck.
Are they still there?
Yep, still there.
She just has stumps now, where her fingers used to be.
Wasn't pleasant.
It's going to be awkward wearing rings now. They're just going to fall off your stump knuckle.
I'll make it work.
We'll tie them on. We'll get some duct tape and tie them on. So it's going down to, minus 39 degrees Celsius, which is close to minus 39 Fahrenheit.
Tomorrow night, it's going to minus 47 degrees Celsius.
Minus 47 with the wind chill. Okay, minus 47 with the wind chill.
Tomorrow
That's
night.
The same in Fahrenheit as it is in
It's too cold. That's what it is. That's as cold as it gets for the whole year, though. And we usually get one day. And hopefully that's it.
That's right.
That's it. You know, somebody said don't with the tongue. But the other day we went to Alexander's mom's.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And the order had come in with dry ice. So those popsicles were ultra cold.
My mom had ordered popsicles to the door by some food ordering service, and they packed them with dry ice, which makes it really cold. So she gave each kid a popsicle, and...
Jason got was it his lip or his tongue?
Jason, did the popsicle get stuck to your lip or your tongue?
It was so
The popsicle at Grandma's, was it stuck to your lip or your tongue? His tongue. He was having a moment.
A full-on, what's that Christmas movie where he sticks his tongue
Christmas Story.
And it like stretched out? It was...
Never has a kid been more afraid of a popsicle before.
Oh my gosh. He like ran it like water over top of the sink.
There's a screenshot I don't want. You're gonna live like... Anyway, that's what happened.
No, everybody's gonna do it.
Yeah. So,
sorry. I got off. I saw somebody say.
So Jason got his tongue stuck, and then Steven's like, no big deal, and then he puts his lips on it, and then he gets stuck to it too. So all of our kids were having a crisis.
Yeah, with popsicles.
Over popsicles.
And then Linda's feeling all guilty that the kids have gotten their mouths stuck on the popsicle. She was just trying to be nice and give them a treat.
Jenna says, I'm from California and would die. I've never seen snow. Wow.
I've seen snow only 3 times.
Oh, seen snow only 3 times. Okay.
Snow's not a big deal. I don't mind snow. I don't mind as long as the roads aren't slippery.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't have snow days here. That doesn't exist. If your car starts and you can somehow get to your work, you need to go. So my school never closes. I mean, except for when, the government tells me.
Or summertime.
What I mean, yeah, but
When
regular
school's
holidays.
Yeah,
But
there's
we
no
don't
such thing as
snow-
real school
yeah.
days here, or
When
snow
somebody's
days.
like, "What do you do for snow days?" I'm like, "What's a snow day?" Oh my goodness.
Anyway, it was an adventure today. So the kids they finally unstuck their faces from the popsicles, and we had a good visit with my mom. We're gonna go over there and help her clear out her storage room a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you not lose
I
it?
don't know how I didn't lose it. My alarm went off on the camera, and yeah, boy, that was a thing. I thought I lost you for a
My
sec.
school is open. Everything is open in that weather. It doesn't matter. It could be minus 6 billion. As long as your car starts, your store is open.
Your
There's
car's
no-
actually been really good.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
Yeah.
I have a new battery though. I don't have to plug mine in, so that's.
She says, I guess my Scion FRS wouldn't fare well. Probably not. Neither would a Volvo XC90 with bald summer tires. It wouldn't do
No.
very well in winter either.
I have ice tires on mine, so it's like,
Yeah.
and it's all-wheel drive. It's
And that-
fantastic.
Now I have learned that my little FJ Cruiser is capable of pulling a fairly big trailer, a double axle trailer, through 3 feet of snow in a backfield where no roads are. Apparently it's capable of doing that. So if ever I doubt the capability of that vehicle, I know that it's essentially a snowplow. It's pretty good. Yeah. Probably didn't hurt that I had the skid plates on the bottom too, so your stuff doesn't get all hung up on the bottom of
Oh,
the
mine would have
undercarriage.
gotten stuck, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, a few people have asked about the Mont Blanc.
Nobody wants to have their undercarriage dragging through the snow.
Did you hear, Stuart?
Oh, the Mont Blanc. I still have it. I haven't checked it out to see if it's
What are
a
ice
thing to differ.
tires? It's just a really heavy tread, and they're softer, so that you have a chance.
Andre
Andre.
says it's minus 30 right now. I'm north of you, about 400 kilometers. Feels like minus 37. Baby, it's cold out there.
We're not there yet. I think we're at minus 34 or something right now. I'm
With
not
the
sure.
wind chill.
With the wind chill.
Yeah.
But it's cold. You can feel it. I mean, you just dress for the weather. You don't go out in shorts. I mean, you could, but not for long.
So, I don't know. Hey, I know what I'm going to do.
Is it sing?
No.
Dance?
No.
Oh, dad joke.
No.
It's a big fat zero in Montreal right now.
Don't tell us that.
Well, I'm happy for you. Enjoy your zero.
That's
I would.
Schadenfreude.
I almost called
We're
it a snow
so
day,
happy
Dave.
for you, Montreal, in your warm weather.
I'm actually happy for you.
Whoop-a-doo!
Cindy from Red Deer said, I'm just assuming you're from Red Deer because of your title. Maybe you're here. But she said, I almost called in a snow day this morning, but I went.
Yeah. Okay. Field trip. Let's see.
Field trip.
We are just logged into the auction. We're gonna have a little quick look-see. Let's see if since the last time. Nope, things still aren't getting bid on. That's fine. That is a good deal. You can actually sort this thing if you go on the little side here. You can go bid amount ascending or descending, so you can see what the highest price items are right now. Oh, 18 karat gold and diamond bracelet. Well, no kidding, that's 120 bucks. Filigree designer bangle. That's a really nice piece. That's like that's as ornate as that. It's kind of similar to that Teshko iguana, or not iguana, chameleon that we had in terms of quality. It's a nice piece. Mike G says, do you know if Bruderheim will have Model T races this year? I don't know. You'd have to ask my buddy Matt. Matt, my friend, is the one who does that. Matt Hott with Hot Speed Shop. So if you go on Instagram and look up Hots, Hottes Speed Shop, you'll see his Instagram page. You can ask him if the Model T races are happening. Hopefully. Let's see.
They said, how are Josh's chickens doing? You should go check out his channel. He just did a new vlog about getting ready for the polar vortex.
Let's see. Well, there's stuff getting bids, you know. Oh, this was, man, that's a big jar full of scrap gold and stuff. Basically, all the little ends of broken bracelets and silver and gold.
Oh, there's an elastic in there. Why?
I don't know.
But anytime there was anything, like there's broken gold chains and...
It's pirate plunder. Come and get your jar of pirate plunder. Yardy, hardy, hardy, har.
Yeah.
I don't know what pirate talk like that. He'd probably get beaten up by other
We
pirates.
threw it in a jar because somebody could do something with it. I just didn't want to be that somebody.
Oh, I guess I did still have some silver. My mom asked if I had any silver ounces left. I guess I did.
Plunder, lol.
Plunder,
How
pirate
much for the
plunder.
elastic? I don't know.
It's a nice elastic.
Yeah, no guarantees on it being a nice.
Hey, this had no bids a minute ago. Now look, it has bids because we were talking about it.
Which one?
Oh, this is kind of a cool ring too, actually.
Yeah. Minus 27 right now. That's not so bad. It got warmer.
Diamonds and rubies. Oh, this is a Italian micro mosaic. They actually take tiny little bits of glass and they form these mosaics with them. So
Yeah,
those
that
are
was
all
actually-
individual pieces of glass. That's
That was a cool piece.
Italian micro mosaic brooch. Cindy says she lives in Blackfalds, works in Red Deer.
Ah,
Oh, here's a box full of assorted vintage coins. Ooh, what's in there? I don't know. I got tired of sorting, so I just put a whole bucket of coins out.
Gail
It's
said,
anybody's guess.
the cold weather has helped Alex with his allergies, and you sound like yourself. Melissa, I love those earrings. Those earrings are great on you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we'll take a little bit of time now to answer some questions. And boy, somebody said you used a canning jar. I'll bid just to get the jar. I know it's hard. I actually,
Oh, I feel you. That's
truth be
I get it.
told, that was one of our canning jars. I know. I can't say that I borrowed it because it's not coming back.
Hey,
It's like when you
I
ask
gotta
somebody
lock
to
those things up.
never ask to, if somebody asks you to borrow a Kleenex, don't give it to them because you don't want it back. Hey, can I borrow a Kleenex? No. No, you
Alyssa
cannot.
said it was sunny but freezing. Oh, Alyssa,
Yeah.
I'll tell you freezing. And I miss you.
Oh yeah, my niece Alyssa is on, who is expecting her baby. That's right. I get to be a grand uncle or whatever you call it.
A grunkle.
A grunkle. I know. I gave away one of my. Okay, I might have lost husband points from that, but on the plus side, I got her 2 boxes of those things in the summertime. So
Yeah, from a subscriber, wasn't it?
yeah, somebody donated a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
we
and I
didn't-
used them.
we didn't have the little metal part to, pop it down on a.
Froze with Melissa's mouth open. That figures that's when it
We
would
didn't have the
freeze.
thing the metal part that.
I had them.
Oh, I thought it was missing. I thought.
No, I had
Okay,
them.
so to my defense, I thought I took a canning jar that was missing pieces.
No, I had all of the pieces.
Oh, I am in husband
It's
trouble.
okay.
then.
I still have. Alyssa said, I miss you guys too. We need to make a trip to Canada ASAP.
ASAP.
It really does. It is tinkly.
Yeah. If you make a trip to Canada ASAP, you'll have your baby here and your baby will be Canadian.
True story.
You should just tell people at the border that you had a big lunch. I get a little gassy. I don't want beans. She's got like a big baby bump.
It's kicking.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have your baby here, it'd be a Canadian baby. Make it.
Correct. Okay, Alyssa. Alyssa said, I'm down for that.
Yeah. Okay. Q&A time, guys. We were chatting about how the auction is live now at Kastner. This is the final Musician's House sale, and it's going to be ending on February 13th. So for those of you that missed something, the first couple auctions who are just catching this now, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can check out that came out of the house up now.
I saw, Serendipity. I remember by Melanie, right? Serendipity by Melanie has been doing unboxing videos of her Curiosity auction wins. I can't remember how many boxes I've been watching them too. She's very calm and
Oh, cool.
yeah. And she has a lot of great treasures. She bought the treasure boxes.
The other thing that was fun is that last time I was on a live feed, I said, if anybody has old Hot Wheel cars sitting around your house, talk to me because I do buy that kind of stuff. And I had a couple people write me that I guess have some old Hot Wheels. So maybe we'll have some of those coming to the store. The reason why I try and search those out is that I have a lot of customers locally that buy that kind of stuff. So for me, that's a good item to have. Matchbox, Hot Wheels, Dinky toys, Corgi toys, all that stuff is an easy sell, but particularly Redline Hot Wheels. So my petition is here. If you have a bucket of Hot Wheels or a box of toy Hot Wheels in your basement and they have, doesn't matter what they are, if they're like older ones, like if you're from the 80s or before, let's say, send me an email. You never know. Might be able to make a purchase from you.
Bandana Grandma said, do you know when groundbreaking is going to be for the edition?
Well, we technically already broke ground.
Good for them.
We already broke ground in spring of last year, or summer of last year when we got the water lines dug, and we already did scrape out where the foundation's going to go. So a lot of that work has already been done. So we should be able to start getting the foundation in as soon as the ground is thawed. So that would be spring, early spring. We're trying to get that all lined up right now. As soon as the foundation is in, then it goes quickly. The walls go up, the walls go on, the doors go in, and all that happens. So spring and summer, hopefully the building will go up, and then in autumn and into fall and winter is when we'd be doing the interior work. So lots of work to do this year.
Zenobia said, I have a bucket of them, Alex. They were my sons and grandkids. I feel like I know somewhere you can
There you go.
sell them.
Just have to mail them out still.
Mike, I don't know if anybody else is pinning.
The perfume sold at the last auction, for anybody who was asking. Let's see. I'm just trying to read some of the questions here.
Oh, and
they're shipping stuff all this week. A lot of people are already receiving items from the last sale. There's probably a few stragglers that have to get caught up. But they do ship relatively quickly. Generally within the week of the auction, they'll have things out. Sewing boxes sold last week. If you're interested to see what's at the new sale, you have to log on to the auction and scroll through. There's a lot of jewelry. Oh, the green Diane von Furstenberg dress is at the auction, as is the really nice black dress that had the beading on it. Those are in this sale. Yeah. I kept those back. We actually had somebody in New York who offered to buy them from us, but then they ghosted me. So if you're watching right now, what happened? You made us keep them back for you, and then you never called me. You never called. It
doesn't make any sense to me when people ghost. If you change your mind, you just say, you know what, I can't do it anymore. That's it. How hard is that?
I thought maybe it was me. I'm like, did I say something?
Oh my gosh. As adults, it's such a weird thing to ghost somebody. It
is kind of strange. But there's two dresses that are up. The original Diane von Furstenberg dress, the one that she's famous for, the green and white sort of dress that they have at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. There's one very much like it that we have up on auction, as well as another bespoke custom dress, both of which are available for your bidding pleasure. There's also, let's see, but I mean, other than the jewelry stuff, the curtains. I found the curtains in the back of the ambulance.
Is that in this auction coming up?
Yeah, the curtains are in the auction. So for all those people, and trust me, there was lots of you out there that were watching that said, we want to buy those 50s curtains. We want to buy those 50 curtains. And I said that I was going to put them through auction. I couldn't find them because I left them in the back of the ambulance with a mountain of toilet paper that we took out of the house.
Oh my gosh. Cindy said mine's coming via Canada Post. Could be ages.
I have no expectations in terms of what this auction, what the stuff will bring. I have no idea. Have no idea what this stuff is going to go for. Yeah. I have a feeling I accidentally left Madame Rack's diary in the garage of the house, but that's okay. That
not the broken beaded ones. Those ones were.
What's that?
The curtains, broken beaded.
No, not the beaded curtains. They were 1950s sort of brocade, really fun sort of pattern that were in the closet where all the music was. They were hanging on the wall. We kept those, and they are like right out of 1956 or 7, whatever. They look really, really cool. So those are going up. There was some other handmade blankets that I found that are going up. There's just a few. Oh, the antique Bunny Riley toffee tin that we had some people that were really anxious about. That's up. So there's a few things. Oh, the nesting hen dishes, those are up for sale. Hang on, while we're chatting here, I'm going to search for them. Melissa,
somebody said HR Trudge said, "I love your channel, Nick and Melissa. Maybe you just look like a Nick."
That was my my grandpa's name was Nick, who was he was a car dealer.
If you missed before, he said that. Oh, unless that's why you said it.
Okay, remember these? That everybody was all like, those are so cool, those should go to the auction. Well, guess what? There they are. There's a depression glass, and then the blue milk glass, nesting hen dishes. Look, nobody's bid on it yet. $15, no bids, and that one's bid at $15. So for all those people who are interested, there they are. They are up there. Let's see. DRESS. Spells dress. This is gonna. Oh. Why am I not seeing the dress here?
Maybe they put it under something like body cover.
I don't know. Maybe they're still uploading. I'll check with the auction, but the Diane von Furstenberg is supposed to be there.
That was an uneventful search.
Yeah, it was super uneventful. Nothing there.
Please tell me about the arrowheads. I'd like to buy them.
Arrowheads are gone.
Oh.
The thing to tell you about the arrowheads is that they
Is
sold
it under gown?
onyx and diamond bracelet.
Would they have put it under gown?
And then we have a platinum and diamond solitaire ring by Burks. There's still a lot of good stuff. I mean, it's surprising to me that if you think this is a lot of jewelry, hang on. I'm gonna flip this back around.
Would they have put it under gown?
No.
Okay.
It should have been under dress. I will talk while I try and find them.
In the UK, we keep chicken eggs in those hen bowls. Well, that makes sense. That's a smart thing to put in that bowl.
Yeah, they don't have them up. Okay, I will find out what happened to those lots. Maybe they were like, why are there clothes here? Of course, designer dresses.
Randy said I had a boss that called me Ralph. Well, Randy, from now on. No, I won't do that to you. I get called Michelle. Apparently, I look exactly like a Michelle because they'll remember Michelle.
Well, there's a lot of cool stuff that's up here, but I don't see. Oh, there's a couple purses and things that we did put through the sale.
They might still be listing them. Auction says preview not until February 10th.
Yeah, they're still uploading stuff today. Like, I don't think everything's up.
Woo.
The crazy thing is, so we did over 900 lots at the last jewelry sale, and now we are at 970 lots. And I said, I hope the auctioneers are prepared for this, because last time they thought they'd be done at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and they were there till 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that means they're going to have to be really good at getting stuff finished up in a timely manner. Boy, I really hope that they're going to be able to get through that day all right. It's going to be a long day.
Marlene Wood said, Marlene always gets called Marilyn. My mom's name is Marlene. I wonder if she gets called Marilyn. Mom, are you still on here? Do you get called Marilyn?
So yeah, this is going to be a big sale, I think. I don't know. Somebody said, what do you think it'll go? I have no idea. Right now, everything just went up for $15, no reserve. And if it goes over that, I'll be a happy man. So we'll see.
Coloring with D said, my name is Donna and I'm called Barbara. Someone even gave me an engraved glass coffee cup with Barbara on it.
Wow, that'd be even worse if you were a coworker with them for like 15 years or something. How long do you let that go if they've been calling you by the wrong name?
Like, that's fine.
Victoriatus, she says, thanks for taking us along on such awesome adventures. Much love to you both. Alex, any advice on how to shop for what? Decent antique pocket watch. Okay, so, and thank you, Allie, very much. We see that come through. She says it's a super chat. Yes, I do have advice for finding a decent pocket watch. And April says, my last job, there was a woman who kept calling me Robin, and I never corrected her. She called me Robin for 7 years. Oh, April, that's no good.
I called somebody, his name was Sheetal, and I called him David for 5 years. And then I was talking to his wife, and she said Sheetal, and I said, no, I mean David, your husband.
That's a big mix-up.
He let me call him David for 5 years. Our kids were in the same class.
Okay, advice for the pocket watch buyer. On vintage pocket watches, jewels do typically matter. And sometimes in wristwatches, they say it doesn't matter that much because there's Rolexes that are 15 jewels. And the jewels are just the pivot points that your balance staff or what have you, mainspring, whatever is balances on. They have little rubies that are inside. So the more jewels, typically they would say slightly better watch. But that's twofold. One would be the number of jewels. Helps give you an idea if it's the better watch. So like 17 and up jewel watch is a little bit better. If you see there's some watches that are like 1 jewel unadjusted, that's not a good watch. The other thing is how many adjustments it has. When you open up the back of a pocket watch and you look at it, it says a couple things. One is the maker of the watch. One is how many jewels it is, so like 17 jewels. And the other would be how many adjustments. And adjustments basically are precision adjustments that they make to make sure it's an accurate watch. So if it says unadjusted, it's a cheap watch. If it says 1 adjusted, meh. If it says 3 adjustments, well, that's even better yet. So the more adjustments, the more jewels, even that matters more almost than the maker name in a lot of cases, because there's an adage, they say, Swiss for wrist and American for pocket. That the American watches like Hamilton or Waltham or Elgin, depending upon how you say it, are really, really good quality. But when it comes to wrist watches, Swiss watches are typically a little bit more collectible, like your Rolexes and Omegas and things of that nature. Mind you, Hamilton did make some really nice watches too, and I don't want to say that they didn't, but Swiss for wrist, American for pocket. So find yourself a nice American pocket watch that's got multiple adjustments. A train watch would have Arabic dials, which is just it's 1, 2, 3, 4 versus Roman numerals. An Arabic dial watch, which is what you're kind of used to seeing probably on clocks in schools and so forth. Those are typically more of a railway watch and probably a bit higher grade. So hope that helps a little bit. And if you get into really good watches, and you get the ones that are like minute repeaters, where they can be like little chimes or bells, or sometimes there's cherubs that like strike a little gong when the hour goes off. Those are like your crazy town expensive watches that are really cool. That's Antiques Roadshow stuff. But anyway, good luck with your shopping for a watch. The Manitarium says, best of luck from Iowa. I have been a subscriber since before the Potter's House. I am a collector of man cave stuff. I could have guessed that from your name. Well, you would like the place I'm going to be hopefully going to next week, where it's all antique and classic cars and signs and gas pump type stuff. I love going to those places, and that stuff sells really well for me. So I'm excited for what next week is going to bring.
Did you put the shoes in the auction?
No, they're sitting over there on the floor still. I didn't put the shoes in the auction because I don't know how to tell if they're real or not.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about putting them through. They say Louis Vuitton. They look like Louis Vuitton, but I don't know if they're real or not. And we don't want to accidentally sell something that's not what it is. So,
yeah.
You know, we do actually try our very best.
Like you can look at. The thing is that there's really good fakes as well. They're pretty tiny. They're little shoes.
Yeah, they are tiny little shoes. We do have a couple Louis Vuitton purses that we believe, from what we can tell, they're real, because they're, you know, they've got the right markings and the right type of leather and all that stuff. So yeah, but there's so many fakes of that stuff out there that I don't want to say authentic Louis Vuitton. We were thinking about maybe taking them into the Louis Vuitton store here in town. Yeah. And yes, Edmonton boasts a Louis Vuitton store, so there you go. We were thinking about taking them in there and seeing if they can maybe verify if they're real or not, because there are so many fakes of that stuff with that LV logo that it's you know, it's really, really hard to tell whether it's real or not. But we don't want to put them through until we
contact Louis Vuitton directly. They'll tell you from pictures. That's a good idea. Then I don't have to leave my house.
Yeah, the workmanship on the purses is nice. So they do look pretty good.
I was watching you make soap, Lori. It was fascinating.
Did we catch this one?
Yeah.
Did we get that super chat?
Yeah,
okay.
Let me just go back up and double check.
Okay, Melissa's gonna make sure we didn't miss anything.
This was the last one.
All right. Has the antique Christmas tree sold? All the Christmas stuff sold last auction sale. If you want to see what's online and what's up for grabs this go around, you will have to log into Castner and scroll through. I'm not going to do it today because there are nearly 1,000 lots. And let me tell you how much work it is just getting 1,000 lots over to an auction house. You just don't drop it off and they do everything. You have to try and itemize it, make lists, get it down, organize it. And then they have the work of taking all the pictures and that. And by the way, if there's any pictures that are blurry online, they are working on getting them fixed right away here. So yeah, I think we're at 970 lots or something like that right now. But that's it. This will be the last sale of, you know, but we still have a lot of costume jewelry, and we do have a lot of jewelry still at the store. So for people that are coming through, we have an awful lot of stuff that are still at the store. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody said this, my picture's clear from when I'm watching it, but somebody said my phone was clearer. The only reason is because it was 2 p.m. So our whole neighborhood isn't on the internet at the same time. Because I did our live when my kids were all using the internet, so it shouldn't have worked. And somehow, magic, it worked.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I was going to answer a question. I forgot what it was. It just kind of it zipped on by. I'll try to go back to it. Any thoughts on vintage wooden toy trucks or other vehicles? Wooden toy trucks and cars are not as collectible. During World War II, there were steel rations, and so many toy manufacturers switched over to making wood toys for Christmas in, 1943, 4, 5 or so. You'll find a lot of wooden toys that were in fact made by companies that would make pressed steel toys. But they still don't bring a big dollar, typically. It just doesn't have the same draw. Pressed steel, metal, tin, bright lithographs, those are the ones that generally bring money. I don't generally buy the wooden toys because they're a little more difficult to sell. You two remind me of Ozzie and Harriet. Well, thanks. I guess I would make what what were their kids' names? I can't recall. Ozzie and Harriet's kids. But I don't have a smoking jacket and a pipe, so we'll have to remedy that. What am I doing on? This weekend I'm going to somebody's place that apparently has a whole bunch of Roman coins for sale. So we'll check that out. I'm going to go with Steven. That'll be fun
When
father-son
is that?
road trip. Sunday afternoon. I'm going to drag him out. Actually, he wants to go. Steven really likes. Steven really enjoys artifacts and old coins and stuff. In fact, he collects that. My son collects Roman coins. Jason collects like Lego and Meccano sets, and Steven collects old coins and does art. Abigail seems to be collecting clothing lately, specifically sweaters.
I know.
She's all
Crop
about her
top
sweaters
sweaters.
right now. Yeah.
It's like a crop top hoodie, and we saw the reviews on Amazon. Somebody wrote 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10, whatever the rating is. It said arms are too long and body is too short because they didn't realize that they'd purchased a crop top. Somebody, hold on, where was it? Said, Kimberly said, thank you for commenting on my post from the live yesterday. So in the first hour after I do a live or any kind of videos or anything, I try very hard to go on and answer all the comments because I want to make sure, because I have a lot less comments to go through as well. So I try to make sure that I at least say hello to everyone coming on.
Oh, this is the other thing I didn't mention. I don't know. I'm waiting until now to mention it. Is that we have this auction sale, which is a big one that's happening. But I've also been getting ready and organizing and inventorying a whole bunch of sports cards and non-sports cards to go through for a big auction that's going to be happening who knows when in the near future. They haven't given me a date for it yet, but hopefully I'll be taking my first load of stuff in there after the weekend. I just keep I keep double, triple booking myself. Like I seriously go from 7 in the morning until probably 11 at night every single day. But you know, you have to work hard, and like I said before, if it's something you love doing, it doesn't really feel like work. I have to sort toys and sports cards. It's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah. Oh, yeah, Ricky Nelson. Yeah, of course I know Ricky Nelson. Yeah, I forgot that was from Ozzy and Harriet. There we go. Let's see. Just reading some of the comments. The value of the Shaquille O'Neal card I found. The problem with sports cards is that they're only worth what somebody's willing to pay, and they're worth more if you get them PSA graded. But the grading company that does that work is 6 or 7 months behind on their grading. So I probably have 100 cards that I would like to hold back and get graded that will probably not go to the auction, but it's going to take like 6 or 7 months until they get back. But that's a difference between making 40% profit or making 1,000% profit on something like that, because the grading actually makes a really big difference, because you've had somebody who's professional. It's their job to look at it and give a professional grading. They look at centering, they look at color, they look at the corners, and then they give it a professional grade, and nobody ever questions that. So I'm going to still do a really big sports card sale, but there's a few things I do want to get sent off and graded because it'll be worthwhile.
Nick Molnar said, beforehand, he also said that he deals with coins. So maybe next time you guys could do some kind of deal. But he said, I have 5 million sports cards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that.
Okay. No, the Shaquille O'Neal card is worth a little bit more than $20. But like I said, getting it graded makes a big difference. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna answer a couple more questions, and then we've got just a couple minutes, and then we'll probably call it quits. Are old glass pop bottles worth anything? Says Canadian Traveler. The short answer is yes. My friend Bob, who we lovingly refer to as Bob the Bottle Man, collects old soda bottles. He's getting more into medicine and other sorts of rare bottles now. But there are many people who collect bottles, and if it's a brand that you've never heard of, some that are marked Felix, like Felix the Cat, that's a good bottle. There's also Donald Duck beverages from the 40s. There's some that are just a little bit more rare than others, and yes, those are can be worth hundreds of dollars, if not more. But your average soda bottle, like an old 60s Pepsi or something, is only worth $5 or $10. Like, it's nothing to retire off of, but it's better than what the Bottle Depot would give you.
Brian said, I have to sort Lego into sets. Coincidentally, the best way to check that a whole set is there is to put it together. It's a tough life.
I've done that before too. Melissa's witness. If we go to a garage sale, which we've done in the past, and they have an old Lego set there, and
tell them the hot tip for how to tell if you have something good.
Oh, well, you can look up, some Lego pieces have numbers stamped on them.
It'll be like a neat piece, like not your regular pieces.
Like like a weird windshield or something. They'll have a little number stamped in it. You can look up that number on Bricklink or other Lego websites, and it'll tell you what sets that was in. No, Nalog is the Lego group in Edmonton. That wouldn't help them. It's Bricklink. Oh,
yeah, Bricklink.
So when you go on, you can actually see what set that came from and figure out from the other pieces in your bucket what you might have. And then you look up the instructions online, you can put sets together.
And people buy it without the box, without the instructions. And one time we went to a garage sale. Do you want to tell that one? With the yellow bricks?
Oh yeah, we had. Well, they had the old like 1970s knights in it. You know, with the little. They all look the same, and they've got that funny little hat that comes down like this. You know, with the helmet. So those are from the 70s. So I kind of looked it up, and sure enough, I had the entire yellow, the first castle that they ever made, a yellow brick castle.
Yeah.
And a couple space sets there, and you know, we paid probably $20 for a box of Lego. Once we put it all together, we got hundreds of dollars for that stuff once it was assembled. So I had a fun evening of building a Lego set, and it helped pay for dinner and groceries for, you know, the next couple of weeks for us. Warehouse of arcades, jukeboxes, and cigarette vending machines in Orlando, Florida. So not delivered till snow is all gone. I'll email if interested. Would I be interested in a warehouse of arcade juke? Yes, of course I'd be interested in that stuff. That's all super cool.
What's your email?
CuriosityEdmonton@gmail.com. The stuff you guys, the viewers that watch this channel, you guys have the coolest stuff. I mean, I go out and I poke around and I find things. But you guys have cool stuff in your houses. Some of you have Redline Hot Wheels and email me and say, is this what you're looking for? And I go, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm always amazed by the stuff that you guys have kicking around. So warehouse of arcade machines. Yeah. How would I get it here? Don't know. Could probably figure it out though.
Matthew beat me.
Found a box of comic books from 1940 to 46.
Thank you,
No,
Chef Suzanne.
Randy, Golden Age comic books are worth a fair bit. If it all depends on the genre. Like, you know, if it's really early Superman or something, you might be sitting on a gold mine. But any Golden Age or Silver Age comic, golden is like 40s and 50s, and silver is 60s into 70s, and then there's bronze, which I think is 70s. Anyway, I feel like I'm naming off tanning lotions. Like, you got to get the Golden Age tanner, or you got to get the Bronze Age tanner. That's the one that'll get you there. But no, those are probably worth something. So good find if you ended up finding some 40s comics.
MP said, did you ever get paid for the comic books he sold in New York?
They still owe me some money. I've never dealt with an auction house. It took so long to pay someone for the stuff they sold. But they paid me a little bit at a time, but they said they're supposed to be paying the rest hopefully pretty soon here.
What happened to the Silica card? What is it?
Toyota Celica car cards? Celica car cards? But they'll be going up for auction. I just have to figure out... Oh, right. I don't know what happened to those. Those are the ones that I found in the house, actually. I don't know where they are. There's stuff that I found in the house that I think... Oh, I think my friend Dale got them, because I was putting stuff aside to bring home, and I think he took them with the stuff that he bought. I'll have to see if he has the stuff, but I think my friend Dale ended up with some of that stuff. That's why I couldn't find them. That and the stickers of all the race cars. Yep.
Well, at least you know.
I got into your channel as I'm a big collector of dolls, vintage toys, and own a boutique. I actually got my 97-year-old Graham into your show. It's fun. Well, I'm glad that you guys watch. See, we're fun for the whole family, and we keep the potty language off the show. Unless we're actually...
we don't really usually have potty language normally in our real lives, so it's not hard.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that stubs my toe and I go, fiddle-dee-dee. I don't think I've ever said fiddle-dee-dee other than just now.
I've only heard a curse come out of his mouth maybe less than 5 times.
Okay, somebody said, what makes it a red line Hot Wheel? First off, I would say that red line Hot Wheels are some of the first Hot Wheel toys that were made. They were made from, I think somebody's going to correct me here, roughly 1967 to 1976 or so. That's about the range. They started off in Spectra Flame colors, which were like these really chromy. They took a polished magnesium die-cast car and they painted them in bright colors, and they came out looking like chrome metallic. They look really cool. So the easiest spot, generally because of that, sometimes they had enamel series, which would just be like a flat, like a regular paint job. Anyway, what makes it a red line and what makes it more collectible are the wheels. So when you look at a red line Hot Wheel, if you can envision the tire of a car, it's round, right? But a regular car can have white wall tires, where it's the stripe that goes around that's white. If your toy car is a Hot Wheel and it has a red stripe on the wheels, that is likely a red line Hot Wheel. Now, they don't always have the red line left on them because people put them down the tracks and they get worn off. So you might have red line Hot Wheels and not know it because some kid has painted them with a brush or the red lines got worn off. The other way to tell is that the back of the red line Hot Wheel, they were pushed onto the rim with a little plastic piece. And what's curious and kind of cool is that Mattel had invested in a bunch of, they were going to start making kids pianos. Didn't work out. They decided they didn't want to make these pianos. So at the time, Matchbox was the #1 seller of toy cars. And Matchbox was it. And a very hard market to get into for somebody like Mattel because there was already such a big market share by somebody else. But if you remember, they bought a bunch of pianos, little tiny pianos they were going to make that didn't work out. So they had this giant spool of piano wire in the warehouse, a big giant spool apparently at the factory. And somebody said, well, I could probably figure out how to use that piano wire, and we could attach these little wheels in this way by crimping the end and put them on our toy cars. And so they started making exciting looking cars. But what they did that was even better is that by using that piano wire, it gave it a little bit of a suspension, and the wheels spun like, I don't know, 1,000 times better than a Matchbox toy did. Matchbox were good for pushing around, but a Hot Wheels would roll forever on its own. If you ever just give a Redline Hot Wheel a bit of a flick, it'll just go across the whole room without much effort. So they came up with the tracks and the sets where you can make them spin, and couldn't do that with a Matchbox car, nor a Dinky Tour, nor a Corgi. So Hot Wheels became a big seller. And those early cars from the 1960s are worth quite a bit, all because they had a failed project of selling pianos and they had a bunch of piano wire to use up, which goes to show that you can make lemonade out of lemons, I guess, or I don't know. You can take a bad experience and make it into something good with a little ingenuity, and that's exactly what they did.
Too Tall said to be careful because you can purchase those wheels separately, so you can't always tell. You can kind of like,
but they would still be going on if you purchase the wheels aftermarket. They would likely be going on to an original car. Yeah, so there's it's a neat little story, and there's lots of collectors all over the world because everybody, including young kids nowadays, have had a Hot Wheel car at some point in their life, and there's a sort of love for them because we all had that little box of Hot Wheels and enjoyed them.
Was the Picasso real? Is it a screen print?
No, there is a Chef Suzanne says we would have loved the cards. I'll talk to my friend Dale and see if he has them.
Maybe if you get a chance, email Alexander at thecuriosityedmonton@gmail.com, just so that if we do find them, we can contact you afterwards.
Yeah, and be patient with me with returning emails too. We get an awful lot, and I try my best to keep up on it.
You can also email archboldvlogs@outlook.com. That goes to me, and I get 2 a month. So,
well, not now that you said that.
I'll feel free to bombard me.
Yeah. Somebody asked about the Picasso. So here's the thing. I went and we got this stack of papers, and there was this Picasso. There's a lot of back and forth about that Picasso, whether it's real or not. So here's one school of thought. Somebody says Picasso didn't do silk screen, so it's probably not real. However, Picasso was a very litigious guy, and he really protected his copyright. So he wouldn't have let that thing go out there as a mass-marketed piece. But there's probably hundreds of them out there. He is known for producing things in quantity when he needs money, like the pottery I had. They made tons of that stuff. So it's not unlike him to do a large number of pieces. Here's the fact about that item is that Piero, or White Clown as it's called, that silkscreen, is based off an original Picasso that was done in 1901. So there is a real Picasso that he did exactly the same. Now, legend has it that he did a gallery exhibition back around that time, and around that time, like quite a long time ago, obviously, as a young starving artist, he was painting on that reddish brown cardboard. He didn't have much money, and it's said that he made a whole bunch of those as a part of Watch an Artist Paint sort of day, where people go in and he'd make a whole bunch of stuff. Now, people say, well, we don't think that that we have no record of that or so forth. The piece dates from somewhere before 1950 or so, because there are people who have records of their family buying them in the 1940s or 50s. So it is a really old piece. And Norman Rockwell had one hanging in his art studio. So Norman Rockwell had one of these Picasso prints of that White Clown hanging in his studio. He was friends with Picasso, and his sons went on record and said, my dad would never have had a fake piece in his studio because he looked at that stuff for inspiration. So in my mind, it's kind of split, but I feel that there's a good likelihood, given the fact that that was around when Picasso was still around, that he wouldn't have allowed that to be out there on the market without it having been something that originated from him. So yes, I feel it is a original print of a Picasso piece, and it's based on his 1901 painting called Piero. and also known as White Clown. So yeah, it kind of a cool thing. Absolutely. That was a long-winded story, but there you go. Nick Molnar says, hello to everyone from Ontario, Canada. Hello. Well, that's nice of you to say hello. But with that said, and all of this going on, we are going to have to call it a night here because our kids are going to want to see us at some point, and we'll get off and do some other things around the house before it's time for us to call it a night too. But important things to note. Sports card auction will be coming up soon. I'll announce that when I can. But the last Madame Rack Musicians House auction is up right now at Kastner. It is there. You can bid on things right now. It ends February 13th. So if you wanted something from the house, from the series, that's the last chance to get it unless you come in the store in person, and then we've got a few things there. As for what my favorite thing was that came out of the house would be the piano, because that's the most important thing that woman owned was that piano. And although it's not a hugely expensive piece, it's the most important thing. It's what she had her whole career on. It's what every person, all 350 plus students learnt on, and people who went on to have careers in music. It's the most important piece from that house in my mind. And that's the piece that's going in our cafe so it can live a life and still have people come and play it and enjoy it. So in my mind, yes, the piano is the most important piece, and we brought that back to the store.
You know what my favorite piece is?
What?
My favorite thing that came out of the house were two pictures. And it was the one where she was curtsying as a little girl, and then one when she was older and she was curtsying as well. Just how happy she was and full of life. That is my favorite part of that house, was those two pictures I actually kept so that I would never forget having this experience and what an amazing woman she was. So yeah, those were my favorite pieces.
So on that note, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. All 3,600 of you for watching this live feed. I hope you have a wonderful evening. We'll stay tuned and we'll do updates as the auction progresses and let you guys know how we're going. In the meantime, I'm out looking for more stuff. I got a car full of things I'm taking to the store tomorrow. We have potentially some Roman coins and who knows what else that we might be getting in on the weekend. So life continues, the adventure continues. So stay tuned for more episodes, guys. We'll see you all soon. And as always, bye for now.
Don't forget, if you haven't already.
Oh, there's more.
Give this video a thumbs up.
Oh, and subscribe.
Subscribe if you want to get notifications. Cross your fingers and hit that bell.
That's right. What if when people watch, they just think that they just have to put their thumb up to the screen? They said to give it a thumbs up. I don't know why they're asking us.
Down below, there's a little thumbs up.
Yeah, there's a little thumbs up button you can click. Yeah.
It gives us a hand with our channel. So we appreciate you all, as always, so much. Thank you all for joining us.
There we go. Okay. So have a wonderful night, guys. We'll see you all soon. And bye again for now.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.